Today, we are ripping into your stack of source material for a look at some seriously high-stakes cinema.
Oh, yeah. The kind that blends explosive action with really difficult real-world history.
Exactly. We are diving deep into everything we know about the highly anticipated upcoming political thriller, Assassins.
And this one is so compelling because we're not just talking about a film that's, inspired by history.
No.
It's anchoring its entire story around a very specific, very sensitive event.
Right. And that's our mission today. We need to unpack this thing. Who's making it? Who's in it? And maybe most importantly, how are they planning to use this fictional character, this narrative vehicle, to explore a really complex historical truth?
And that's the place to start, really. The foundation of this whole film is a huge political earthquake.
Okay, so what are we talking about here?
We're talking about the real-life attempted assassination of the Korean President Park Chung-hee. The sources even pin it down to the exact date, August 15, 1974.
Wow. Nailing down a specific date like that, it just gives the film immediate gravity, doesn't it? But to really get the ambition here, you need to understand why that date is so loaded. For anyone less familiar, Park Chung-hee was ruling under the Yuzin system. I mean, this was a time of intense political suppression, even as the economy was growing like crazy.
It creates this immediate environment of high paranoia and control. So when the sources confirm the historical anchor is that August 15th incident, people often call it the Mun Si-gwang incident, it just sets the stage for betrayal, for complexity.
Right. The attempt on the president's life was shocking, but the real tragedy that happened, that's what gives it so much cinematic weight.
Exactly. And if the film sticks to the history, the assassination attempt on President Park, it actually failed. He survived.
But it tragically claimed the life of his wife, the First Lady, Young-soo.
That's it. Yeah. So when a political thriller chooses this moment, they're dealing with a known historical outcome. The attempt failed. But this massive human tragedy happened anyway.
It raises the stakes from just political to deeply emotional.
It really does.
Yeah.
It tells us this film isn't just about who fired the gun. It's about the devastating fallout, both, for the family and for the entire nation.
Okay, so let's lock down the production facts before we move on to the cast. The film is Assassins.
Yep.
It's a political thriller. And the release date, which feels so far away, is 2026.
And the team behind it is solid. It's produced by Hive Media Corps, and the director is Hae-jin.
Ah, okay, so his previous work is a big clue here, like The Last Princess.
It's a crucial insight, yeah.
Yeah.
A director like Hae-jin, he has a reputation for navigating this kind of complex historical territory.
But his style is usually more intimate, right? Very character-driven melodrama set against this huge backdrop.
And if you connect that to a high-stakes political thriller, it probably means we should expect something much deeper than just a standard action movie. Hae-jin's strength is in showing the personal cost of all the political maneuvering. He's less interested in, say, generic shootouts, and more in the psychological toll it takes on people.
So Assassins will likely prioritize the human drama of the investigation over, pure spectacle.
I think so. He's bringing a certain kind of gravitas that could elevate the whole genre. And that gravitas is, it's reinforced immediately by the casting.
Absolutely. So moving into the ensemble, the name that jumps out is, of course, Lee Min-ho. He's got that global star power.
He does, but the production notes are really clear on this. It's not a one-man show.
And that's the key structural thing here, right? It tells you what kind of story we can expect. Lee Min-ho is starring alongside two absolute titans of Korean cinema.
Park Hae-il and Hae-jin.
Exactly. And the sources emphasize that all three of them, Lee Min-ho, Park Hae-il, and Hae-jin, are sharing the lead roles.
When you have three actors like that sharing the lead, it almost always signals three distinct perspectives on the event, maybe even conflicting perspectives.
For sure. So we know Lee Min-ho is our main investigative vehicle, but what about the veterans?
Well, you can speculate a bit, right?
Yeah, Park Hae-il often plays these very controlled, morally ambiguous, intelligent characters.
A perfect fit for maybe a jaded political insider or a security chief who knows way more than he's letting on.
And Hae-jin. He often brings this more grounded, sometimes darker, but always charismatic presence.
He could easily be a mentor figure to the rookie reporter or, given the genre, maybe he's the hidden antagonist, someone implicated in the whole thing.
So by having this triple lead structure, the film guarantees the investigation is going to be wide. It's going to cover the chaos on the streets, the plotting in the halls of power, and, the personal struggles of everyone caught in the middle.
And it gives you, the listener, a clear sense of the project's ambition. They're pooling all this talent to give this event multiple dimensions. It's not going to be a simple good versus evil story.
Okay, let's zoom in on the character who's going to be our guide through all this darkness. Lee Min-ho's role.
Right, so he's playing a passionate rookie reporter, working in the social affairs department.
A classic choice, but a powerful one. A rookie from social affairs is an outsider.
Totally. It makes him relatable to the audience.
Yeah.
And he's just thrust into this horrifying event. The source material is very clear that his character is a first-hand witness to this shooting.
Being a rookie witness is so critical. It gives him that sort of naive drive to pursue a truth that maybe older, more jaded people wouldn't touch.
And his function in the plot is spelled out. He pursues the truth and wants to uncover the mastermind behind it all.
Ah, see, that pursuit of the mastermind, that's where the fiction gets to play in the gaps of history.
Exactly. We know the historical facts of who the shooter was, but in a political thriller, the real tension is always the idea that the official story isn't the whole story.
And the reporter's job is to chase that shaft conspiracy.
And what's so fascinating is how that pursuit changes things for the actor himself. This is a really crucial takeaway from the material for you.
The genre shift for Lee Min-ho.
The genre shift. The sources all highlight that this role showcases a totally new side of his acting. He hasn't really done a political thriller like this before.
It's a huge sign that this project is meant to challenge expectations. You have a leading man who's famous for these sweeping romances and dramas.
And you're deliberately putting him into a grittier, politically charged, probably much darker role. It signals that this film is serious about its themes.
It feels like a very deliberate pivot. It suggests the performance will be less about charisma and more about this relentless, maybe even agonizing search for truth in a really dangerous time.
I think so. It turns the film from just a period piece into a critical look at that whole political environment of the 1970s.
So when we put all these pieces together, the strategy becomes pretty clear.
It does. You start with this deeply sensitive, complex, real event, the attempted assassination in 1974.
And then the film uses this fictionalized character, the rookie reporter, as the engine to drive the whole story forward.
He becomes the perfect vehicle, really. It lets the filmmaker stay accurate with the history, the setting, the incident itself.
While also having the dramatic freedom to explore hidden motives, corruption, and the fight to be a journalist under all that political pressure.
Yeah, the dramatic potential of linking this passionate, investigative character with a real-world tragedy is just immense. It turns a history lesson into a suspense thriller.
And having those three leads reinforces that uncovering the truth will put him in direct conflict with some very powerful forces.
Forces likely embodied by one of his co-stars. It sets up this multi-layered story of official cover-ups and just how hard it is to expose corruption in a regime like that.
And that's why these kinds of thrillers stick with you, right? They give us a chance to re-examine history and look for the stories that were suppressed at the time.
Precisely. And I think that brings us to the final provocative thought for you to take away from this deep dive.
Okay, let's have it.
So, given that the film is based so carefully on a real historical event, that August 15th, 1974 attempt, which has a known public outcome, how will the film manage the tension?
You mean the tension between what we know happened and the fictional search for a mastermind?
Exactly. If the audience already knows the who, what, and when, the film has to succeed completely on the why. And the who was really behind it all.
So what kind of expectations does that create for a 2026 audience, especially one that might still be very sensitive to the political legacy of that whole era?
The real cinematic magic, and I guess the tension we're all waiting for, lies right in that gap. The gap between established history and the deeper, darker truth the reporter is trying to uncover.
That is the movie we'll be waiting for in 2026. Thanks for diving in with us today.